Listen to me. You're not tired. You're uninspired. You're not broken. You're undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're unfocused. Stop blaming the world. Stop blaming the system. Stop blaming your past. It's not them, it's you. And that's not an insult. That's the most powerful truth you will ever hear. You said you wanted to change your life, but you did change your habits. You wanted to be successful, but you didn't want to sacrifice. You said, I'll do whatever it takes, but only when it was easy, only when it was comfortable. Let me tell you something. Consistency beats motivation every time. Motivation will wake you up, but discipline will keep you moving. You didn't fail because of what you lacked. You failed because you let you down. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. But here's the good news. If you are the problem, you are also the solution. Now stop blaming others. Your success or failure is 100% your responsibility. Own it. That's the foundation. That's the hard truth that most people run from because it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say, they didn't help me, or life isn't fair, or I didn't have the support. But the longer you live in that mindset, the longer you stay stuck in the same place. Blaming the world doesn't change your world. Blaming your circumstances doesn't rewrite your story. What rewrites it is the decision to take control, to say, no more excuses. This is on me now. Too many people walk through life looking for someone else to take the fall for their lack of results. They blame their parents, their environment, the government, their friends, their school, the weather, anything they can grab onto. And while, yes, life can be unfair, and yes, maybe you did start at a disadvantage, the question isn't about where you started. The question is, where are you willing to go? There are people who started with nothing, people who came from broken homes, grew up in poverty, faced abuse, discrimination, trauma, and still rose above it. Not because it was easy, but because they refused to stay a victim. Because they took ownership. They stopped saying, why me? And started saying, watch me. That mindset shift is the difference between mediocrity and greatness. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not connection, it's extreme accountability. When you understand that everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, is a result of your choices, your habits, your decision, you get your power back. You stop waiting. You stop hoping someone else will fix it. Because the truth is, if you're waiting to be rescued, you'll be waiting forever. No one is going to care about your dream like you do. No one is coming to save you. That's your job. It's not about being perfect, it's about being responsible. That means if you said you were going to do something and you didn't own it, if you quit on your goals, if you stop showing up, if you let distractions steal your focus, don't blame your schedule, your phone, your friends. Own it, be honest with yourself. Because you can't grow from what you won't admit. Accountability isn't a punishment. It's the most freeing thing in the world. Because once you realize it's your fault, you realize you can fix it. You can choose differently. You can build new habits. You can change your routine. You can get up earlier, study harder, work longer, train better, cut out the noise, stay focused. All of that is within your control. But it starts with the truth. You let you down. And that's okay if you're ready to fix it. The worst thing you can do is keep lying to yourself, acting like you're doing your best when deep down, you know you're not. You know you're capable of more. You know you've been cutting corners, hiding from pressure, procrastinating on your purpose. You know you've been blaming your situation instead of taking ownership of your future. And the thing about life is, it doesn't care about your excuses. The world rewards action, not intention. Every day you have a choice. Do you make excuses or do you make progress? Do you stay in your comfort zone or do you step into your growth zone? Do you keep pointing finger or do you turn that finger around and point it at the mirror? The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the real work, the skipped reps, the missed deadlines, the broken promises. But it also shows you potential. It shows you what could be if you stop blaming and start building. Personal accountability is about looking at your life and saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Not in a cheesy way, but in a real, raw, relentless way. It's about understanding that no matter how hard your past was, no matter how many people doubted you, mistreated you, or walked away, you are still standing. You still have a shot. And if you keep letting outside forces dictate your effort, then you've already lost. Nobody is stopping you from waking up earlier. Nobody is stopping you from putting in the work. Nobody is stopping you from sharpening your mind, strengthening your body, and growing your spirit, except you. And the moment you accept that is the moment you become dangerous. Because now the excuses don't work anymore. Now the story shifts. You stop playing small. You stop waiting for the right time. You become the one who moves, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when no one else believes in you. When you start living like it's your fault, you start living like it's your fight. And when it's your fight, you show up differently. You prepare differently. You sacrifice differently. Because now it's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Motivation is temporary. It's emotional. It's loud. It's exciting and feels good in the moment, but it fades. That feeling you get after watching an inspiring video or hearing a powerful speech doesn't last. It gets you started, sure, but it will never carry you through. What carries you through is discipline. What carries you through is the ability to act not when you feel like it, but when you don't feel like it and still choose to show up. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. If you rely on being in the mood to do the work, then your success is already fragile. Because life isn't going to wait until you're inspired. Life doesn't care if you're tired, stressed, or discouraged. Life will test you when you least expect it. And when that happens, you won't have time to wait for motivation to return. You'll need discipline to take over. Discipline says, I don't want to, but I will. Discipline says, it's raining, but I'm running anyway. Discipline says, I'm not seeing results yet, but I'm trusting the process. Discipline says, I made a commitment and I'm keeping it, period. People often say they lack motivation, but what they really lack is consistency. And consistency doesn't come from being hyped. It comes from structure, from systems, from routine, from deciding ahead of time, this is what I do, this is who I am. The most successful people in the world don't wake up every day excited. They wake up with a purpose, and they've trained themselves to act on that purpose regardless of how they feel. It's not that they don't feel lazy. It's not that they don't feel lazy. It's not that they don't have distractions. It's that they made discipline their identity. It's not optional for them. It's embedded in how they move. And if you want to elevate your life, your fitness, your mindset, your finances, your relationships, you got to stop chasing motivation and start cultivating discipline. Discipline is built, not found. It's forged through repetition, through pain, through choosing a hard thing over and over again until it becomes normal. Think about the gym. The first few days, you're fired up. You bought the gear, made the playlist, got a plan. But what about day 12? When your body's sore, the scale hasn't moved, and no one's clapping for you anymore. That's where most people quit. Because the motivation that got them started isn't enough to sustain them. But the disciplined person, they don't care how they feel. They go anyway, too. They do it anyway. Because their goals aren't based on their mood. Their goals are based on a standard. And that standard doesn't lower itself just because they had a bad day. If anything, discipline sharpens in adversity. When things get harder, the discipline gets stronger. Because every time they show up when they don't feel like it, they add another brick to the foundation of who they are becoming. Motivation whispers. Discipline commands. Motivation says, wouldn't it be nice if? Discipline said, let's get it done now. And the more disciplined you become, the more powerful you feel. Not because everything is easy, but because you know you can rely on yourself. That's real confident. That's real free. Not being dependent on a feeling to take action, but knowing that no matter what comes your way, you've got the self-control to push forward. Discipline also builds trust with yourself. You start to believe in your ability to finish what you start. You stop needing outside validation because your results begin to speak. Your habits begin to speak. Your presence begins to speak. You walk into rooms different when you know you've been putting in the work silently, daily, without needing to be seen or praised. People who rely only on motivation live on a roller coaster. They go hard for a week, disappear for a month, start over again, and wonder why they're stuck in the same place. The ones who rely on discipline, they're steady. They might not be loud, but they're dangerous because they don't stop. They don't wait, they build, brick by brick, day by day, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. And yes, discipline can feel boring, repetitive, unrewarded. But that's the point. It's a grind. That's why most people won't do it. That's why most people will look at your life one day and say, you're lucky, without realizing that your success was the result of thousands of tiny disciplined choices they never saw. You don't need more motivation. You need better habits. You need to wake up at the time you said you would. You need to stick to the plan you made when you were clear-headed and committed. You need to remove options and excuses. You need to stop negotiating with your goals. Because every time you say, just this once, or I'll do it tomorrow, you teach yourself that your word doesn't matter. Discipline is about becoming someone you respect, someone you can count on. It's about proving to yourself that you don't need perfect conditions to be consistent. You just need to decide and follow through again and again. You're the problem and the solution. That statement can either offend you or empower you. Truth is, most people don't want to hear it. They want to hear that someone else's fault. They want to believe that circumstances are keeping them down, that people are in their way, that luck just hasn't been on their side. And while that story might give you temporary relief from responsibility, it will also steal your long-term power. Because as long as you believe the problem is out there, you give up your ability to fix it. When you realize you're the problem, it stings. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to look at yourself without the filters, without the ego, without the excuses. You start seeing the patterns you created, the promises you broke, the potential you ignored, the shortcuts you took. And if you're honest, you'll see that a lot of what you blame others for, you allowed, tolerated, or created. But here's where the shift happens. The moment you accept that you're the problem is the same moment you discover your power to become the solution. If you caused a setback through your procrastination, you can recover with discipline. If you lost your focus chasing distraction, you can get it back by setting new boundaries. If you fail because of inconsistency, you can build momentum through daily effort. You're not stuck unless you choose to be. You're not broken unless you refuse to rebuild. Everything that's holding you back is something you can face. But only if you stop pretending it's someone else's job to fix. There's no freedom in playing the victim. There's no growth in pointing fingers. Blaming feels good for a second, but it keeps you exactly where you are. It creates a false sense of comfort. You tell yourself, it's not my fault. For a moment, you feel justified. But what happens next? Nothing, no change, no movement. Just the same results, the same frustration, the same cycle repeating over and over again. But when you take full ownership, not partial, not conditional, but full, something shifts inside of you. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop waiting and start working. You realize that your life is a direct reflection of your standards, your choices, and your actions. And when you raise your standards, when you shift your choices, when you align your actions, you change your life. Not overnight, but over time, through persistence, through resilience, through responsibility. The most powerful transformation starts when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I doing to create this? That mindset alone separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. It's the mindset of someone who refuses to let circumstances define them, someone who refuses to stay in cycles, someone who is hungry enough to confront their weaknesses and strong enough to work through them. It's not about guilt. It's not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's about ownership. Guilt keeps you in the past. Ownership moves you forward. Shame tells you you're broken. Ownership reminds you that you're still in control. You're still writing the story. You're still in the fight. No one is immune to mistakes. Everyone falls short. Everyone has failed. Let people down. Let themselves down. That's not the issue. The issue is whether you choose to stay there. Whether you choose to stay the version of yourself that created the mess or become the version that can clean it up, learn from it, and grow beyond it. Every problem in your life that came from you can be solved by you. But it starts with being real. It starts with having the courage to say, I let this happen. I didn't do what I said I'd do. I stopped showing up. I got lazy. I got distracted. I quit too soon. That honesty will shake you, but it will also shape you. Too many people wait for perfect conditions to change. They wait for the job, the money, the partner, the opportunity. But growth doesn't wait. Progress doesn't wait. The people who win are the ones who understand that they don't need permission to evolve. They don't need a green light from the world to start becoming who they were meant to be. They give themselves permission. They become the green light. They stop letting what happened to them be the excuse, and they start using it as the reason. You don't need more time. You don't need more support. You need to stop running from responsibility and start running toward it. You need to stop hiding behind distraction and start confronting the truth. You need to stop trying to fix everything around you and start fixing what's within you. Because when you grow, your life grows. When you get better, everything around you starts to get better. Not by magic, but by movement. Not by chance, but by change. Not from others, but from you. No one is coming to save you. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. For too long, people sit in silence waiting for something or someone to change their life. They wait for the perfect opportunity, for the right connection, for a mentor peer, for a miracle to show up at their doorstep and rescue them from their situation. But that moment never comes, and it never will. Because the truth is, your breakthrough won't be delivered to you. It will be built by you. This idea that someone else will come along and fix everything is one of the biggest lies we've been sold. That one day some circumstance will magically appear and everything will fall into place. That if we're patient long enough, the universe will reward us without effort. But that's not how it works. The world doesn't reward your wishes. It rewards your work. Your word's your work. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you understanding. Nobody owes you a chance. And the sooner you let go of that entitlement, the sooner you get your life back. You can't afford to wait for help when it's your responsibility to help yourself. There's no cavalry coming. There's no savior on the horizon. This is your life. And if you don't take ownership of it, no one else will. People can support you. They can encourage you, but they can't carry you. They can't walk the path for you. That's yours to walk. Every painful, lonely, difficult step of the way. And the power in that is enormous. Because if it's up to you, then you don't have to wait. You can start now. You can fight now. You can rise now. Too many people are paralyzed by the hope that someone else will take initiative. They wait for a coach to believe in them. They wait for a boss to promote them. They wait for friends to understand their vision. But the most powerful thing you can do is stop waiting, start acting. If they never see your potential, will you still chase it? If they never clap for your progress, will you still grind? If they never say thank you, will you still serve? These are the questions that shape warriors. Because warriors don't need permission to fight. They fight because the mission matters. They fight because they refuse to surrender to circumstances. You've got to become your own support system. You've got to become the one who picks yourself up when you fall, the one who motivates yourself when you're discouraged, the one who disciplines yourself when you feel lazy. Because at the end of the day, no one feels your struggle the way you do. No one understands your dream like you do. And no one is going to chase it for you. This is your mountain to climb. And yes, it's steep. Yes, it's cold. Yes, you'll want to quit, but nobody's going to carry you up it. You've got to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. That's how you build momentum. That's how you take back your power. The moment you stop expecting someone to show up and save you is the moment you start stepping into your own strength. You stop looking outward and start digging inward. You realize that the thing you were looking for all along, discipline, motivation, courage, commitment, it was never outside of you. It was buried inside of you. And now it's time to bring it out. Self-reliance isn't about isolation. It's not about pretending you don't need anyone. It's about knowing that even if everyone walked away, even if no one believed in you, you still believe in yourself. You still move. You still rise. You still do the work. That's the level of responsibility you need to live at if you want to succeed. Because when life gets hard, and it won't ask how many followers you had. It won't care how many likes you got. It will ask, did you show up when it was inconvenient? Did you stay committed when no one was watching? Did you push forward when everyone else quit? That's what makes the difference. Not who you know, not where you come from, but what you're willing to do when the odds are stacked against you. Now, are you willing to grind without applause? Are you willing to fail and get back up without someone telling you it's okay? Are you willing to become your own motivation when motivation runs out? Because it will run out. And when it does, the people who succeed are the ones who kept going anyway. Nobody else can develop your potential. Nobody else can build your character. Nobody else can put in the reps for you. They can cheer, sure. They can coach sometimes, but they can't do it for you. And if you keep waiting for them to carry you, you'll miss the opportunity to become strong enough to carry yourself. There's something powerful about not needing saving, about waking up one day and deciding that you're not going to wait for a handout, a shortcut, or a favor. You're going to build it. You're going to earn it. You're going to grind for it because you know that when you do, no one can take it from you. You didn't borrow it. You didn't beg for it. You bled for it. You struggled for it. You fought for it. And that makes it yours. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. Wishing is easy. Anybody can wish. Anybody can dream. It takes no effort to close your eyes and imagine a better life, a bigger house, a stronger body, a growing business, or a purpose-driven life. But none of those things become reality just because you thought about them. Dreams without work stay dreams. They live in your imagination and die in your procrastination. You have to understand, effort is the currency of achievement, not hope, not potential, not good intentions. The world doesn't reward daydreams. It rewards discipline. It rewards action. It rewards the ones who show up early, stay late, and keep grinding long after the motivation is gone. People think success is about inspiration, but it's not. It's about repetition. It's about doing the boring work. It's about putting in the reps, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when you failed before and you're afraid to fail again. The reason most people never reach their goals isn't because they don't have the ability, it's because they're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to pay the price. They want the results, but don't want the process. They want the glory, but don't want the grind. But it doesn't work that way. Success demands sacrifice. It demands sacrifice. It demands focus. It demands sweat. It demands that you show up even when you don't feel like it, because feelings don't produce results. Effort does. Wishing makes you feel good. Working makes you better. Wishing gives you hope. Working gives you growth. Every time you put in the work, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is patting you on the back, you separate yourself. You level up. You gain something that can't be bought, can't be faked, and can't be taken away. You earn it. And when you earn it, you own it. That's the difference. Look at the people who are where you want to be. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't get there by wishing. They built their success, one disciplined decision at a time. They made sacrifices you didn't see. They endured rejection, failure, setbacks, all while continuing to move forward because they knew the work had to come first. They didn't feel entitled to results. They felt responsible for them. There's no shortcut to excellence. There's no fast track to greatness. Everything worth having comes with a cost. The cost is time. The cost is energy. The cost is effort. The cost is saying no to comfort, no to distractions, no to excuses. Most people aren't willing to pay that price. And that's why they settle. That's why they settle. That's why they live with regret. Because deep down, they know they didn't do the work. They know they let themselves off the hook. They know they chose comfort over commitment. But you don't have to be most people. You can be the one who shows up differently. You can be the one who doesn't just wish for success. You work for it. You grind for it. You commit to it, even when it's painful, even when it's thankless, because you understand the truth. The grind is the gateway. The effort is the entry fee. Nobody hands you results. You earn every inch through consistent, intentional action. And let's be real. Working for it doesn't mean you'll see results right away. Sometimes you'll be doing the work and see no reward, no applause, no recognition. That's when most people quit. They assume it's not working because it's not working fast. But progress isn't always obvious. Growth isn't always visible. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means it's working in silence. And if you keep showing up, eventually the work will speak. The real power lies in learning to trust the process and showing up every day with the mindset that nothing will be handed to you and everything will be earned. That kind of mindset changes how you train, how you study, how you compete, how you live. Because now you're not just working for something, you're becoming someone. Someone who doesn't back down. Someone who doesn't take shortcuts. Someone who finishes what they start. Your future is not built in the moments when everything is easy. It's built in the moments when it's hard and you keep going anyway. When your body says stop but your purpose says go. When your mind says quit, but your heart says push. When everything in you wants to slow down, but you dig deeper and keep moving. That's what builds character. That's what separates the average from the elite. That's what turns a dream into a reality. You can wish for a new life all you want, but until you're willing to work for it, nothing changes. Because effort is the difference between who you are and who you want to be. Every rep you do, every decision you make, every hour you dedicate, it all adds up. It compounds, it creates momentum, it creates transformation. But only if you're consistent, only if you're relentless, only if you stop waiting for someone else to give it to you and go earn it yourself. Pain is part of the process. You don't get to greatness without it. You don't build anything meaningful without some kind of struggle. Pain is the price you pay to grow. It's the refining fire that shapes your character, builds your discipline, and reveals your purpose. Everybody wants the result, but they want to skip the pain. They want the body without the soreness, the success without the sacrifice, the elevation without the adversity. But it doesn't work like that. Pain is not optional if you're serious about becoming something more than you are right now. Most people run from pain. They avoid it at all costs. The moment it gets uncomfortable, they retreat. The moment things don't go their way, they fold. But the ones who win, they do the opposite. They don't run from pain. They run into it. They understand that pain is not the enemy. It's the evidence. It proves you're stretching. It proves you're fighting. It proves you're alive and in the arena. It means you're not sitting on the sidelines watching others take the hits. You're in the game. Pain is the path. When you lift those weights and your muscles burn, that's growth. When you wake up at 5 a.m. and your body screams for more sleep, but you get up anyway, that's growth. When you're chasing your dream and it feels like no one believes in you, when the doubt creeps in, when you're tired, when you failed again and again and you still choose to keep going, that's growth. And the key to all of it is your relationship with pain. You can let it break you or you can let it build you. You decide. You have to reframe how you think about pain. Instead of seeing it as a reason to stop, start seeing it as a sign to keep going. Because pain means pressure, creates diamonds. It means friction, and friction sharpens the blade. You can't become sharp without going through the grind. You can't become strong without resistance. You can't become better without pressure. That's just how the process works. Think about the times you grew the most in your life. They weren't easy moments. They weren't soft, comfortable days. They were the hard seasons, the nights you cried and kept pushing. The days when nothing made sense, but you still got up and moved. The failures that hurt, but also taught. Pain didn't destroy you, it developed you. It gave you a deeper level of hunger that gave you perspective. It gave you grit. It made you realize that you were capable of more than you thought. You don't need everything to be easy. You need to get stronger. And strength is built into suffering. You want endurance? Embrace the pain. You want discipline? Embrace the pain. You want transformation? Embrace the pain. The people who break through, the ones who reach the next level, they aren't built in comfort. They're built in challenge. They're forged in struggle. They've learned how to make peace with the process, even when it hurts. Pain is a test. It asks you, how bad do you want this? It wants to know if you're serious. Anybody can be enthusiastic when everything's working. But can you stay committed when it's not? Can you stay focused when it hurts? Can you stay disciplined when there's no applause? Pain reveals the truth. It shows who's just talking and who's really about it. If you only move when it feels good, you'll never get far. Because anything worth building comes with pain. There's pain in discipline, but there's also pain in regret. There's pain in growth and pain in staying the same. You're gonna hurt either way. So choose the pain that leads somewhere. Choose the pain that builds something. Choose the pain that brings progress, not just comfort. The most dangerous thing in life isn't pain, it's comfort. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Comfort is where potential sits idle. When you're too comfortable, you stop reaching, you stop growing, you stop demanding more of yourself. But when pain shows up, it shakes you, it wakes you up. It reminds you that you got more in you, that you're not finished. Hop him a jump, that you're still becoming. So instead of running from it, lean into it. Let it shape you. You've got to learn how to suffer with purpose, how to struggle with intention, how to turn pain into fuel. Every setback can be turned into strength. Every loss can be turned into a lesson. Every trial can become a tool if you let it. If you stop seeing pain as punishment, as preparation. Truth is, the higher the level, the harder the process. You want to lead, you want to inspire, you want to rise above average, then prepare to suffer more than most. Prepare to be misunderstood. Prepare to be stretched, challenged, and broken, only to come back stronger. Not because you were spared from pain, but because you were strengthened by it. Because you were strengthened by it, because you endured, because you didn't quit when it got hard, because you chose the path of resistance. Because you knew that on the other side of pain is the version of you that you've been fighting to become. So stop waiting for perfect moments. Stop blaming. Stop wishing. Stop hiding from the discomfort. Own your journey. Own your effort. Own your pain. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. You want it? Then rise up and get it. With discipline, with consistency, with fire. You let you down before, but that ends now. No more excuses. No more delays. The version of you that you've been chasing is already inside of you. But you've got to be willing to go through the process to bring it out. So fight for it, grind for it, show up for it. Because once all's said and done, the only person who can truly change your life is you.